5 of the most important comics of the 1980s. It was a pivotal decade for comics. Things were changing, and I think possibly the best decade of comics ever. First, Swamp Thing by Alan Moore with art by John Totleben, Steve Bissette, Rick Veitch, et al. Amazing, amazing run where Alan Moore and all these amazing artists from the Kubert School, Totleben, Veitch, Bissette, all took this character of Swamp Thing from Bernie Wrightson and Lynn Wein and turned him into this ultra-realistic, surreal monster that was able to explore all of America, culture, social political ideas, and this true horror comic. Amazing, amazing stuff. You have to read it. I don't care what format you buy it in. It's a must-read. Possibly the most underrated and important comic of the 80s is American Flag by Howard Chaykin. This came out in 1983, and it was put out by First Comics. Howard Chaykin was a true iconoclast of the 80s of comics. And this comic, once you read it, you'll realize Alan Moore, Frank Miller, all these guys were inspired by the work in this book in particular, but Howard Chaykin himself, a must-read, American Flag. Everybody knows this one, Watchmen. Truly took the comic book world by storm in 1986 and has not left since. One of the best-selling comic books of all time for a reason, but this is truly what I think is the best comic of all time. It deserves to be studied. The lettering, the coloring, the artwork, the writing, all of it deserves to be studied, and why it's so great. Truly the pinnacle and peak of comics. Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller, Klaus Janson, and Lynn Varley. A masterclass of comics. This truly took the character of the Dark Knight, which Neil Adams and some other writers and artists were doing darker things. Denny O'Neil were doing darker things with Batman, but this took Batman in a totally different light and put him on a pedestal of darkness and mayhem and fascism, and was a true commentary on all things superheroes, and still to this day lives up as an amazing, amazing comic book. Number 5, Batman Year One by Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli. An amazing 4-issue run that took place during the normal run of Batman, but David Mazzucchelli's artwork in here could possibly be the best drawn superhero comic of all time. He's a master cartoonist, master artist. And Frank Miller's storytelling of Batman, this still to this day lives on as the origin of Batman for a great reason. And that took the 1980s by storm. So Howard Chaykin, Frank Miller, Alan Moore, 3 of the most fascinating minds of the 80s that truly shaped the industry of comics. Let me know yours down below, and check out my longer form videos on the other platform, Taylor Talks Comics. Thank you.